What's up, guys? Thank you for stopping by the channel and welcome back. It's been a long time since we've done an unboxing like this, but we're gonna go ahead and dive in and take a look at the Razer Kishi V3 Pro. This is a mobile gaming controller designed for Android, iPhone, and the iPad mini, and also Android tablets up to 8 inches. It's a USB Type-C connection that also uses the Razer Nexus app to launch games, either from your computer or from the phone itself. For our testing purposes, we're going to be using the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and doing some gameplay. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the specs. I want to give a special shout out to all the subscribers, old and new. We finally hit 20,000 subscribers, so we appreciate it. The channel keeps growing. Go ahead, pat yourselves on the back. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of the specs on this device. We're looking at full-size thumbsticks with swappable caps, full-size controller form factor, and you know that's one of my main things about these gaming controllers. I love the form factor that Razer Kishi offers. We covered the Razer Kishi, oh my goodness. We covered the Razer Kishi Ultra previously on the channel, and this controller, the V3 Pro, looks very much similar to that controller, minus the RGB lights that were on the sides of the Razer Kishi Ultra. So anyways, guys, this should fit, like I said, iPad mini, Android tablets up to 8 inches, it says here. We get dual mouse click back buttons and claw grip bumpers. It's powered by the Razer Nexus gaming app, and they call that the game launcher. You can do wired and remote play for your PC, and allegedly it should work with all cases, or at least most cases it's compatible with. So guys, what else? Just looking around at this controller, it's very similar to what we've covered before. You can see that the bridge is almost identical to that of the Razer Kishi Ultra, but let's go ahead and unbox this thing and just take a look at what we get inside the box. So you just pull these tabs, which makes it simple for us. We don't even need an unboxing knife. 2 tabs, one on the top, one on the bottom. Let's get this open. And that should be it. I feel like there should be some kind of music, oh, type thing when you open this. So far, presentation is nice. So what do we get? What is this? So you get this little card here that says choose your rubber cushions. So obviously you get extra cushions for a snug fit for your device. It's nice of them to include that. What else? That's pretty much it. It tells you exactly how to insert these cushions and remove them. So depending on the size of your phone, you might need to adjust. You get the controller itself. We'll move this to the side for now. Looks like you get a couple extra thumbstick caps. One circular, one a little concave with texture around the sides. I'll probably be using this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. What else? Do we get anything under this foam packaging? We get our instructions. Now you guys know I suggest reading this because it's gonna tell you things about the device that you didn't know, but you probably should know. For example, what all the buttons do. So make sure you take a look at the instruction manual. Other than that, you get some, what are these, the stickers? You always get the Razer stickers. For gamers, by gamers. And that's pretty much it. So you do not get any kind of USB Type-C cable for that pass-through charging at all. And then you just get the controller itself, which feels almost identical to the Razer Kishi Ultra. Let's push the box to the side and take a look at the controller. So yeah, if you had the Razer Kishi Ultra, then you're gonna feel right at home with this one. Minus those RGB lights that we talked about earlier on the side, this controller looks pretty much the same. And for me, that's not a bad thing. Right now, just touching this controller, is giving me flashbacks. But the controller, all in all, feels great. We have our A, B, Y, and X button here, and the buttons feel mechanical. And if you can hear this, they have a nice little sound to them. Not really a click, more like just a sturdy sound. These definitely feel like, these buttons feel like they're durable. And so we have our home button, we have our menu button, we have the Nexus app button, we have our screen share button, we have our options. And then we have on the back here, our mappable buttons, M2, M1. We have also buttons up top, L4, R4. Again, in my opinion, the triggers, they feel, I don't want to say cheap, but they don't feel as sturdy as I would like. If you push down too hard, I feel like you can break the triggers. You can break the triggers if you push down way too hard, in my opinion. D-pad is nice. There's a nice click to the D-pad. Now, I didn't see anything that said that these were Hall effect or anything like that. So I don't think that these triggers and thumbsticks are Hall effect, but they still feel nice. I don't think you'll have a problem fitting any kind of device in this controller at all. Look how big it is. And so we're just gonna go ahead and jump into this, guys, and see what it looks like with the Z Fold 7 attached. I might have a difficulty because of the way the Z Fold 7, the USB Type-C cable is. It'll be interesting to see if we can actually get the device to fit in the controller, and you can. So the Z Fold 7 looks just fine in the controller, and it fits. Is a snug fit. I didn't even have to really adjust the cushions. The cameras, however, it looks like touching the back of the controller, the bridge of this controller, just barely. See if we can get this on camera. Now, let's see what it looks like unfolded, and if we can still get this device in the controller. You know, this is not the device you want to break. You might have to, let's see what happens if we remove this cushion. Removing both cushions, let's see if we can fit the Z Fold 7 in the Razer Kishi V3 Pro. Still, no, I wouldn't risk this, guys. Because of the placement of the USB Type-C port on the Z Fold 7 is not ideal for this type of device, at least in its unfolded form factor. But if you use it folded, you shouldn't have a problem. And so we'll throw this back in. So using the device folded, you don't have an issue. But when you unfold the Z Fold 7, it's not going to work as well as you like. So just keep that in mind. If you have a Z Fold 7 and you're gonna get something like this Razer Kishi V3, you might wanna opt for the Razer Kishi V3 Pro XL. That's probably gonna be your best bet. But anyways, guys, the overall look and feel of the controller with the phone in, I like it. This would be something that's comfortable. If ergonomically, you have grip on the side of the handles of the controller, so it's easy to hold. I can see myself gaming like this for hours. This feels natural, like you would be holding an Xbox controller. Now, there's supposed to be mouse click bumpers, but compared to my other controller that also has mouse click bumpers, I don't feel like the ones on the Razer Kishi V3 Pro are that good. I have a hex gaming controller that I specially designed, and you could tell the difference. You could feel and hear the difference from the mouse click bumpers. Guys, drop a comment down below and let me know what you think of this controller, and if this is something you'd be getting. For $150, this controller originally is, I believe. It's kind of on the expensive end. You can get this controller for about $130 with the Black Friday deals, but even then, are you really better off getting this or just another one of these and playing at home? How many of us really play on the road with something this big? All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into some gaming and just test out how well this controller is. All right, guys, so we're back and I got everything set up. And just a side note, in order for this to work with a phone like the Z Fold 7, I had to remove these cushions. Otherwise, the USB Type-C connection wasn't fully able to connect to the port. So with that being said, now we're in business. And if we take a look at some of the games we have here. Oh, of course, now this thing doesn't want to work, but okay, there we go. Now we're back in business. So once you connect everything and you launch the Nexus app by Razer, then you have a whole plethora of games you can choose from. You can connect your Xbox Game Pass games, you can connect your Steam games, your PC games, and so for the purposes of this video, we're just going to be playing some of the games that I have on my Android device. But before we get into that, I just want to take a look at some of the settings you can do. So if you go into the settings in the Razer Nexus app, you can change the appearance of how you want the background of your Razer Nexus app to look when you're launching your game. So you can choose a Razer theme, light, dark system. You could choose what computer to connect to this controller via the app. You could adjust some of the controller options like the triggers. You can adjust the polling rate. You can remap your buttons here, all on the app. What else? I didn't see anything that indicates that this has RGB lights like the Razer Kishi Ultra. So previously in the Razer Kishi Ultra, there was a setting for you to adjust how bright you want your RGB lights, but it doesn't look like that's an option on this controller, unless I'm just not seeing it. Maybe we'll save that for the full review and not just the unboxing. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. You can do quite a bit of things within this Nexus app. So let's launch one of these games that I have already loaded on the device. Let's see.